sideways, boys in the days. Sleeping sideways, boys in the days. Sleeping sideways, boys in the days. On a Sunday night, I might bring me some man.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Sideshow, and this is the Azmatik Cortext episode.
Yep.
What's going on, boys?
What's up?
Not much. Kicking it. How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Trying to keep
Sweet.
busy, you know?
Yeah. Looks like you've been keeping busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
There's all
workshop.
sorts of boxes and assorted packages around.
So what do you guys' weeks consisted of so far?
Ugh.
What
Too
happened?
much of fuck all, really, to even talk about. No.
Getting pissy and shit?
Yeah.
You had a pretty big weekend that's kind of expanded itself out
Yeah,
and
potentially the
encroached
biggest-
upon the whole week.
Yeah. Potentially the biggest weekend I've ever had.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Nice. That's how good, like, that's what this is Australian culture, you know. So
Yeah.
It is. It
Yeah.
fully is.
Yeah.
I go to other places and they think we're animals.
yeah, I know. Like my mate just got back from America, and he's just like, yeah, no one was drunk at the festival and stuff. He's like, everyone was just held.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's. If people come here, they'd be like, everyone looks like a zombie. No one's fucking.
Bro, when I went to LA, we got there on Halloween,
Yeah.
and it was me and my ex, and we were like, we'll go check it out. Went to Santa Monica Boulevard, and there was like a huge Halloween festival parade thing, 500,000 people there. And we were just walking through the middle of it, and yeah, like I was like, if this was in Australia, people would be falling out drunk on the side of the road, punching on. Everyone was like pretty civil. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Boy George was there. You know what I mean? Shout out to Boy George.
Hey.
Fucking oath. Yeah. No, that's.
OG.
It is a weird. I don't know. We're just. That's us. We were embraced.
Convict
that kind of
culture.
thing. Yeah, drinking and fucking getting into arguments and fucking.
Yeah.
and all
Because
that
they're all
shit.
just, yeah, exactly. As you said, we're all just convicts. We're all just
Yeah, it's in
just
our
a
blood, bro.
mongrel breed of just,
Literally.
yeah, just lunatics.
So with you guys, we'll start off with how you guys sort of like ventured into rap. What age? What got you into it? What music you listen to? Or we'll start going one by one.
All right. Well, I started. Mine's just the typical white kid story. Like mine just started from listening to Eminem when I was like 8 years old. Like, and
Can we
Yeah,
get Lose Yourself to play in the background? Just as like a, just like a little background.
yeah, it's super, it's super corny, and I wish I had a cooler story, but I don't. But yeah, I started like writing rhymes when I was like 11 years old, like, and I used to just rap in my room, like literally, like.
That's pretty early.
Not only an American accent, but like pretty much an Eminem voice. Like
Yeah.
I just wanted to be like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then off the Slim Shady LP had Bad Meets Evil on there. And as a kid, like I used to listen to the song Bad Meets Evil with Royce the 5'9". I looked through the booklet because I really liked the sound of him. Found his Royce 5'9", went to a CD store, bought one of his albums, and then from there, yeah, it just went off.
Spiraled.
And then like my cousin, I was like 13, about 13, 14 or something like that. I went to like my cousin's house and he was a bit older than me and he was right into Aussie hip hop and he showed me Hunter and shit.
Yeah.
And he just like he loved Hunter and just all like Perth hip hop, and that was my first introduction into like the Australian accent in rap. And I was like, oh, I can just use
Hunter,
my voice.
what introduction Hunter is.
Yeah, like he showed me that like Perth Royals like song and shit. Like
Yeah.
I literally remember my cousin Glenn, shout out Glenn, just like in his room, just like, and he was like raising hell at that age, you know what I mean? Like, and he was just showing me that, just like Perth Royal son, just like going off, like, and it was just like the first I'd ever heard of. There's literally the first like Australian accent I've ever heard on a rap song. Like was Hunter, which is obviously a strong Australian accent.
Yeah. He's an icon, eh? Rest in peace, actually.
Straight
Yeah,
up, rest in
definitely.
peace.
Yeah.
How about you?
I was probably about the same age, but I think I got into it through one of my homies, and his older sister used to listen to, like, I didn't come up listening to Eminem, but she like had Cypress Hill, Wu-Tang and Doggy Style and shit like that.
Yeah.
And we just kind of got fed it from the like older generation of siblings
Yeah.
to us. I grew up down south in Denmark, and we're all just like young cunts running around smoking weed and shit, and it was just like the perfect soundtrack to that.
Yeah.
It just kind of, and we were just sort of like people that felt like were a bit outcasted, and I feel like that's what hip hop kind of like came up on. People that obviously like were outcasted from society.
Yeah.
Society didn't really want them to be a part of it, you know, and that's what we kind of felt within our little town.
Yeah.
So we were just running around like, fuck you,
Yeah.
we're gonna listen to this. smoke weed and shit. And,
Especially
yeah.
in a small town, you'd be easy to stand out with like being like
Yeah, big time.
for sure.
So yeah, but I always hated Eminem.
Really?
So I was just one of those cunts that just hated on anything that everyone else liked. I was like, Eminem, no.
Yeah.
And then when I got a bit older, I kind of learned to appreciate how dope he actually was.
Yeah. I feel like in Australia we got like pumped like his fucking Eminem show. Like that's what I was like first introduced, and then had to go back and find his old shit. You know?
Yeah.
It took a bit, but everything was just fucking like Without Me and fucking Thrill Some Shady and all that shit. It was just smashed on the radio. Like that.
Yeah.
I think I would have been in year 7 or something, or year 6, and it was just getting blasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, I got I had like one of my mum's friends. Who like I used to see all the time. You know, she's like an auntie to me, and she had like a niece who was like a few years older who had the Eminem show, and I hell wanted it, so she went and like recorded it on a tape cassette for me, and I had like a little tape cassette like that I owned and that was the first thing I heard, and I was listening to it on the tape like, and she didn't record the song Drips with him and like Obi Trice.
Yeah.
Which is like that hell like about him like getting AIDS and shit. Like it's hell
That's
fucked.
a gangster song.
Yeah, it's a sick song. Yeah, so I didn't know. She didn't tell me. She kept the song out of there.
Yeah.
So for ages I listened to the tape back to front just constantly. Didn't have Drips in there, and then one day like when I had like my own money and shit, I went and bought the CD and I was listening to it, and then all of a sudden Drips come on. And I was like, what the hell's this? Like
I went out and got an STD at once.
I quickly realised why she left it out. Yeah.
No,
But Eminem really like kind of spawned a whole generation of white rappers. Like, you know what I mean? Like he kind of broke down the barriers for like white people to even rap. Any white rapper that was like rapping before Eminem came around did it hard. You know what I mean? Like they deserved it because
it's like it was such a subculture in the black community, and then no one, it come from everyone not wanting to be mixed with like black people. That's how it was in America, whatever. And then now they're mixing, and it's like always going to be like, no, okay, you don't belong here. Like, and they'd always make that with his stories and stuff from back in the day, saying he just got booed like straight away, walking on stage, all that shit. That'd suck, bro. Like, imagine just walking out and just everyone just telling you to get the fuck, like.
Yeah. But it builds character, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, he's going off. Him and his fucking Machine Gun Kelly beef at the moment.
Yeah.
What do you guys reckon of that?
I'm like, I guess it's because I'm such a fan of his classic stuff.
Yeah.
And everything that he's done lately, I'm just not feeling, you know?
Yeah, neither
and
really, but
I
try to
he's
appreciate
past his
it.
prime to me.
Definitely.
I don't like listening to him anymore. He had his time and like made, in my opinion, probably a lot of the best, most classic lyrical tracks ever to be released in hip hop, which is like a big thing, you know?
Yeah.
But he's one of those ones that just kind of kept going.
Yeah, and it's like just
when he should have stopped.
Because if he stopped, he would be like.
I don't know what happened to him. I've heard stories that like he had a mad drug overdose and had to learn to kind of rap again. That was in his words. He said that he had to he had a major drug overdose back in the whatever between I guess the Eminem show and the Encore. That's just when he really started to kind of turn weird.
Yeah, he has got a weird style.
Yeah, I think like with all the Machine Gun Kelly beef and everything, it's almost just like that out. Like 10-year-old or like 9-year-old me just like I just get mad excited. Like it's almost comes to the point where it's like he's the one rapper where like I don't really have any like logic to like why stuff that he does is good, you know what I mean? I'm sort of just blindly just like it's Eminem, he gets to do what he wants because like I'm so just been such a little fanboy forever, you know what I mean? Like and he's literally like the sole reason why I live the life I live and chose to that's why I do what I do. So yeah, I was super amped. Like when he replied and I listened to it I listened to it like 10 times that day and just
because it's kind of hard to decipher what he was trying to say because it's not as like his last like diss songs are so like there was actually content behind it. It wasn't like someone said something on the internet and he's replying to it. It was like proper beef.
Yeah, and you could tell because he had that emotion in it, you know.
Yeah,
and that was what like led me to all his best music. Is because it was so like charged up with so much emotion. Yeah, I just feel like he just doesn't have that now at all. Yeah, and I was the same for a long time. I was just like, oh, come on, next album that he's going to do is going to be the one where he actually returns to his greatness and like comes back and just it never happened. And I think it's just like made me hate him.
Yeah,
'Cause I was just so disappointed, that he never came back.
I definitely have that aspect of just like he's definitely did albums like when he did was it Relapse and that, and he like rapped in like that accent the whole album. There's songs on there that are good, but I was a little bit just like, why is he using an accent? This is weird.
Yeah,
like,
he just changes his whole shit up. Like I suppose like what the thing I reckon is like imagine if he had died at like after like
he would have been way more legendary than he is now.
Even after the Eminem show, even though that was like he still had shit going after that, but he would be like huge. And then even if you just stopped rapping, he would still be like he just like kept.
He'd be like a martyr, martyr in hip hop, like Tupac.
Yeah,
he'd be like the white Tupac.
But now, I don't know. It's just that's the thing. But and with rap as well, you get all that. That's all your youth and all your energy you have when you're young, and all the hatred you have at the world. And then what's he rapping? Like he's a rich dude now, and he's like living in his house, hell secluded or whatever. Can't really go out in public. His whole thing's gonna change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why he's making content up of like nothing really.
Yeah, and he's probably just like bored of just.
Not making songs.
Yeah, he's at that point where he's
can't
just,
do
like,
anything,
trying,
can't go anywhere.
He's just like trying
he'd be fucked.
different styles. You know what I mean? Like he's probably just, who knows? Like he could just be trolling everyone. Like when he dropped like Revival, maybe he just did that on purpose, just to fuck with everyone. You know?
I wonder if he ever just hires a makeup artist to just full deck him out in just like a prosthetic face and just like walks the streets, just like just to know what it's like to even exist in society.
You definitely would if you had that much money, but then even then you'd be like, this is actually fucked that I have to do this.
Yeah.
You look at like Jackass and shit, like Johnny Knoxville gets dressed up as an old man and goes out and does shit, and like no one knows it's him. Like the next old guy you walk past could just be Eminem, just like just out there just trying on some shoes and shit. Like,
you Eminem? Are you Eminem? No, motherfucker.
Just grabbing old people, like, you Eminem?
Didn't find him today. I'll try again tomorrow.
I thought it was like a good reply in a way, but at the same time, it's sort of like,
I mean, at the end of the day, it gave a lot of people entertainment, and it's like, it's good for hip hop. It just makes people, like, my whole Facebook timeline was just every person just putting in their 2 cents on it.
About it. Yeah. Well, it shows that he really does still hold place in like people's like thoughts and fucking enough that people are going to comment, and it's always a lot of people that aren't even rap fans really. They're just Eminem fans.
I've heard I've heard a few Machine Gun Kelly songs, and I've enjoyed a few of his songs, but I've never really been big in it. He was just someone who was just there, you know what I mean? But it just like I
always thought he was pretty corny.
As soon as the beef, so as soon as he dropped the diss track, I instantly hated him, and I was hating for life now, and that's that. And then like when Eminem dropped his reply, like I was just like I woke up at like 7 a.m, and it was like someone had tagged me in already, and I went and woke my mate up, Sloth, who was like the same as me. He was like, fuck Machine Gun Kelly, like we were just jumping straight in there, just like Team Shady. And I just like woke him up, and he's like woke up, I'm like, he replied. Like it was like when you're a kid, you wake up your mum and dad like on Christmas Day, and you're like, he came, he's been here, and they're like, oh really? Like, and he just like woke up, he's like, really? He got up straight away, we listened to it, and it was just like, I was like, yeah, fuck MGK, he got smoked, just like, I was just so amped, man.
No, it is. I was actually honestly thinking he wasn't going to reply, just because of the thing of him being like, he's helping that dude's career too much. But that line when he's like, I had to give you a career to take it.
That was a good line. That was a good line. Yeah.
And then the whole disses with the facial hair and the man bun, that just like kind of tripped me out a bit. I'm just like, why are you dissing like facial features and shit? Yeah,
well, I sort of took him.
He said
his man bun diss was like almost just a reply to his.
That's what I
diss,
thought.
That's how I took it.
Because it was his first line. His first line was the beard diss, and that's what I was.
Yeah.
And I was like,
but I've seen someone break it down on Twitter. I don't know if this is actually like what MGK intended.
Yeah.
But you know that line where Eminem's like, "Till we get weird, grow beards, and disappear into the mountains."
no,
it's on
business.
Yeah.
On the Eminem show.
And they kind of like
try to put that together.
Theorize that that's what he was talking about, but I don't know. If it was, I'm pretty sure he just said his beard was weird.
That's what I was. Yeah, I was just like, yeah.
Because that would be way better. Because it's like,
though?
yeah, you're that.
Yeah.
You're that now. Like you're the weird cunt with the beard that should have disappeared.
Yeah. That's what people say to me. Just like, oh, but look, like this is what he meant. And I'm like, did he mean that though? some random guys just deciphered that themselves, like, or was he
maybe
just
YouTube
like, you've
videos,
got a
yeah.
weird beard? Like, we don't know. And
It is a pretty weird beard,
he'll
though.
probably come out now and be like, someone was onto it. That is what I meant.
Yeah.
We'll still never
Yeah,
know
yeah,
whether
yeah.
he actually meant that or not.
Yeah, they need to do like, I don't know if they've got it on Rap Genius or whatever. I don't even know if that's on there, but that would be good to
Yeah.
look at, I suppose.
I'm pretty sure Eminem owns Rap Genius. So
Really?
yeah. He's definitely got a stake in it. Yeah.
No shit. What
Yeah.
the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That would that makes sense, I suppose. That.
Yeah, for the record,
So
fuck MGK, Team Shady.
Yeah. So
Team
let's get
other cunts that
back to
are
where
actually good.
let's get back to where you guys actually met. Because was it through battling?
Yeah, we battled each other.
Yeah, probably
'Cause I
met
watched
on
that,
stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Face
I was
to
like, hey, fuck you.
Nah, we would have met before that.
And we've
I
met a
reckon.
few times before. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would have just been like, hey man, what's up? Yeah, like,
And was that Perth City Battles?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he beat me.
Yeah. And then was that the one with the handshake?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
The handshake.
Isn't
The handshake was good.
Isn't it great that like you beat me, but everyone's just like, is that the one with the handshake?
Yeah, that's great. But how about everything before the handshake when I just smoked his boots? What about that? But that's what I thought. Like when I was on stage and we did the handshake, and like he just like full lulled me into a like false sense of like, oh, this guy's giving me props. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. He's like, there's a couple. I can't even remember what he said, but he's like, so I'm gonna end this with a good old fashioned handshake. I'm like, this guy's alright, because before that, like I remember seeing you at a few like events. I'm like, this dude's cocky as shit, and he had heaps of crew and he's from down there and that. And that was like my first couple of years living in Perth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna battle this dude because he's just like the cockiest cunt in the building.
Yeah.
And fucking and just went ham, you know, like. And then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe he's just giving me the props I deserve. Fuck!
This cocky motherfucker.
This is the end, so everyone just thinks like that was like the main part.
Yeah.
Like,
That was great. No, that was great. That was really
that's
fucking
classic.
good. I
It's
couldn't
classic
even
that you
fucking
guys-
be mad at that. I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
No, it's cool that you guys actually like went past that and now you're mates and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there ever any actually physical beefs in that whole thing? Ever?
There was a couple here and there. I remember
Yeah.
Greeley punched fucking Sammy C one time.
Yeah. Yeah, punched his head into a wall, I think.
Yeah.
Fuck
Into
yeah.
a window. It was.
Into a
Was
window,
this after the battle? Not obviously.
No, this is after. They didn't battle.
Oh, they didn't battle.
No.
Just a
I
fight,
think he was just like just talking shit during someone else's battle.
Yeah.
But all in all, I don't think there was. That's the thing about battle rap. It's like you kind of leave it all out there on the stage. You know.
Yeah.
I've become friends with heaps of people like that have become some of my lifelong friends. Not this dude. Not this dude. Not just this dude. Not just this dude, but
Strictly
like
business.
Manners ill. Like I'm like one of my closest mates now.
Yeah.
And I met him from battling him. Greeley, same. I met him, battled him, and then he ended up living on my couch for about 4 months. So
No shit. Fuck
Yeah.
Well, that's, yeah. Well, it's because it's a tight scene, you know. Like there's.
yeah, and it's also it's
fuckload
like
of battle
I think
rappers.
it's like preparing for a professional fight in a way. You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah.
You're like you spent so much time focused on this person, and then you go out there and I'm just gonna kill this motherfucker, and then after that you just like have respect for him after that.
Yeah,
you know?
because it's like all out. You got it off your chest, whatever. The
Yeah.
fuck was
Yeah.
going on,
Yeah.
But
It's
is
good. It's good for that. That's the good thing. That's the thing that I love about battling.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like-
if I'd be a rapper, like I'd be probably like I don't know. Does it take nuts to do that shit? I feel like it would.
For sure.
Just first time stand
For
up.
sure
and
it
just
does.
Be like
Yeah.
in front of a fucking bunch of people that could potentially just like hate you straight away.
Yeah, and I've performed on like a lot of battle stages where I've just got hate from the crowd. Like
Yeah.
the first couple of times I performed in Adelaide when I battled Manners, who's like the crowd favourite in Adelaide, and I just did my 3 rounds and just got crickets the whole time. Like didn't get one reaction pretty much.
Really, yeah.
And that was my first time battling interstate. I just had to eat it and just
Yeah.
ride it out and just be like, "Phew, that was fucked."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Adelaide by myself and battled this guy named Vamps. Who's just I won't even get into Vamps. Vamps is just Vamps. And like I went there by myself and the crowd was just like Adelaide crowd, like they all knew Vamps and I was just
Adelaide
this, like,
crowd's just like super staunch. Like,
yeah,
My
and I
mate
was
said
just
to me,
I was a
like-
little bit shook, you know, like, and I was like, and it was the first time I'd like for some reason just having trouble remembering my bars. I gave myself heaps of time, and even on the day I was like waiting outside and I was like going over my bars and I kept stumbling and I was like, well, I can't remember these bars, you know. So like, And so then I was doing my rounds and that, and the crowd was just giving me nothing,
Yeah.
you know, like, and this Vamps guy's rocked up, who's just like this fucking just wild cunt, and he's just like, he hasn't written anything, he's just rocked up, just like, I didn't even fucking write for this cunt, I'm just going to freestyle, and like half of it's not even rhyming and shit, like it was all just terrible,
just
and the crowd's just loving him, you know, like, and then I'm spitting my shit and no one's reacting or anything, which made me just like, just go into this like, oh fuck, and then I start forgetting my shit, like,
Yeah.
and it was just the worst. And I was in Adelaide by myself, and I just had to finish the battle and just like leave the venue and just go to like a backpackers and just sit there by myself. And it was just the worst battle ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I was supposed to go halves with the people like in the flight. So they booked the flight, and I was supposed to rock up and give them half the cash for it. And I finished my battle. I didn't even hang around. I just left, and I was like, "Nah, fuck these cunts." I just took the money and left for the day. I never paid them.
Straight out.
Yeah.
That's their mistake for paying for it up front.
Yeah. So, is a lot of times when you get flown out, do they have like deals with that? Because
No, not anyway. I haven't paid to fly myself out for a battle in years.
so you get paid to go
Yeah.
to battle.
Yeah.
But are they charging entry at these places? and
Yeah,
stuff?
for
Oh,
sure.
no shit, yeah.
It's like a decent entry price too. Usually it'll be like, $30-$40 because it's like a whole
Yeah, 'cause
night
there's
of
a few,
entertainment.
battles getting done, So no, fucking. I suppose it's like a boxing fight, whatever.
Yeah.
Like saying.
But at the end of the day, like I said before, it builds character. You got to do those sort of things. It's like,
Put yourself out there.
it's like the first scene of fucking 8 Mile. It's like,
Yeah.
you have to just do it. You have to just get out there and do it and lose and just eat that and move on. And some people just never get over that first loss and they don't come back.
Yeah.
And some people use that and just like channel that and then they come back stronger than ever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that just like dictates who stays and who, gets.
Yeah, well, I
like,
remember I swore that like I'd never rock up to a battle like underprepared, like I was. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I don't think I wouldn't have choked since.
choking in a battle sucks.
Yeah, it would, man. I
It really
I can
does.
imagine just
Feel
like
lighter?
because eyes
Yeah.
open and stuff like. And you can't just be like, look at your phone. Imagine the shit.
You can.
Yeah, but imagine
People
like-
do. People
Yeah,
do
I know,
that.
but surely people just be like, no,
Nah.
it's already like out.
Yeah, yeah,
Lost
Yeah,
around you.
yeah. That's what I'm like with people when they do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, you're done.
Yeah, even if
You can finish. You can get your rounds out now and get through it, but
yeah, you're already.
as long as the other person doesn't choke twice and you only choke once, or they look at their phone as well. Like if they're flawless, even if your bars are better, I'm just like you've lost.
Yeah.
Because you were doing, was it just you were doing FBO as well?
Yeah. So me and Dope Hope
Yeah.
and just the rest of the Screw Loose boys like helping out, and that we started FBL.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah,
because
that
I was
sort of
watching
just
that for a bit,
that
'cause
sort of just died out. You know what I mean? Like we just Dope Hope was putting a lot of money into it as well. Like
It's not really a money-making
No, it's not.
venture,
No. That's
especially if you're bringing out internationals and stuff,
yeah,
or even just flying people out from interstate. It's not, unless you're getting huge crowds, it's something that people do just for the love of it.
there's not a lot of fans over here who are like fans of international battle rap.
Yeah, that's it as well.
So we did like a big event where I battled Caustic from King of the Dot in UK or in Canada, and then we got Greeley over as well, and then Greeley battled Unanimous from UK from Don't Flop. So we paid for Caustic and Caustic's misses, Greeley, Unanimous. You know what I mean?
so
Like
it's a bit of money.
yeah, like I think like and like it was all Dope Pope like with his cash, and he would have lost like at least like $3,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just, you put on such a dope event, whereas like anywhere else, like so many people would be running to it, but especially in Perth and in Fremantle and that, it's just half the people were just like, all right, so you got Caustic coming out, who the fuck's that?
Yeah,
we're all like, fuck Caustic, this is crazy, or Unanimous. Just the general public though, like even like fans who have watched PCB battles and that, they just like to come watch like just two Aussie rappers just call each other faggots and shit, like. Tell each other that they're gonna suck their mum's dick. Like they don't care about all like over there. It's just like this full like over there. It's just like this heavy bar shit, and it's like these dudes that they don't even know about it. Like
because when I was watching FBL for ages, and then all the shit. Because when 360 and Cursor was going, that was like even everyone at my school was just like fucking going off about it. But it was only those two that they really knew. There's so many other dope cunts that were there, but. Just also, that was that. Once that finished, literally, no one spoke of.
how much was Cursor popping off at that point with his music?
It wasn't even really
Pretty big. No, he was big in his own.
Yeah, but like it wasn't like because was that when that first album come out? Was that the
Nebulizer.
Yeah, when it was like Don't fuck with Cursor, like that song, like.
Yeah.
That
it
would
was
have been
2011.
after that.
End of 2011, I think.
That was
when they
after
battled.
the 360 battle or before?
I think it must have been before because he already had like a pretty big following.
Yeah, he was a good battle rapper. I watched a couple of his ones.
He was just super confident.
Yeah. Just
that's half of it. It's just how you like come across on stage. You know, you could have the best material ever, and if people don't buy into like who you are, then you're not going to get the love that you deserve. You know,
I've always relied probably more on my stage presence and shit, like over like my bars. Like, obviously I can rap and I can rap good, but like I've battled a lot of people who are a lot more like bar heavy and like just have these schemes and concepts and shit that go out of this world. And then I just like basically clown them, but it's just like I could just like win the crowd over, you know?
Yeah.
Just I don't know, it's just always worked for me, like.
Yeah. I think that is a big part of it. Like, you can't just be like, because you watch some dude that's hell serious and he's just like getting all like fucking deep and shit, and it's like not entertaining enough, you know?
You could probably go through like all my rounds I've ever done and like break them down and be like, they're pretty shit.
But it's so entertaining. And every time, like when I was younger, I would watch your stuff and like yours as well and be like hell into it, you know? But then there'd be some dudes that were at the Perth City battles was just like they're the ones that would come.
They had
and
no
leave.
the guys who were running PCB had no like anyone could just hit them up and be like, I want to battle, and they'll be like, no worries, you're up against so and so, and then you'd have these people who either wouldn't rock up because they've never done anything like that in their life, and they've just said, yeah, no worries, what's your name, wrote it down, yeah, you're on the event. We'd have these people rock up who were just so bad and would just forget everything and just had never done anything like that in their life and didn't even know what they were walking into, you know what I mean? And it was like, whereas as FBO, we did it differently where we like if random people hit us up, we'll like send us some videos of your shit, this and that. Like,
yeah.
But the classic example that I remember of that jokes or stage presence versus bars sort of thing was Run Amok's versus Soma.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if did you ever see any of Run Amok's?
No, but
he's just the most outrageous cunt ever. Against Soma, who's like, one of my favourite Perth rappers.
Yeah.
And they battled each other and it was just like a full style clash. And Soma had, obviously, he could rap like a motherfucker. Run Amok's was just bouncing off the walls, just saying all this outlandish crazy shit.
Is that the dude that was like he was off his...
It is, yeah.
He kind of was like the dude that was off Housos, like he looked like that dude. Like,
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And he beat him. Run Amok's won that battle.
No shit, yeah.
And I think that was the last battle. In fact, I know that was the last battle that Soma ever did because it was just like, fuck. Like, really? But it's entertainment, you know?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. No, definitely. So you went to... Well, you go NZ to battle?
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago. That was good. Yeah. Really good.
Who'd you verse?
A dude called Tracer. He's like the champ of that league.
Oh, true.
Yeah. It was like, good. It was a great battle. A lot of people were saying battle of the night.
Oh, fresh. Nice.
Yeah. But it was kind of like, there's a fight popped off just before our battle. So we had to like win the crowd back after that. But it was like a real, like super responsive crowd. All the people out there were just super lovely and just there for it, you know?
Yeah.
But then that happened and some dude got knocked out and then, like the security were trying to shut down the whole venue and shit. And me and the other dude were standing on stage. I'm like, bruh, like they're not gonna shut down the battle, like shut down the event just before the main battle.
Yeah.
It ended up they didn't.
Yeah.
But we had to kind of like win the crowd, and a lot of people left after that as well. So it was kind of a bit shit in a way. But
one dude got knocked out, and then like everyone just sort of like scattered and went around the place.
Yeah, well, it just kind of like sapped the energy a little bit, you know. Because everyone was like, oh, is the event going to get shut down? What's going on? Like, everyone was at the front, and they had to, like, call everyone back inside. So it was kind of like...
Something like that just creates a bad vibe, just bad energy in the room.
Sucked that it happened, but we managed to get him back, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, it was great.
Yeah, fresh.
Yeah. I feel like the crowd out there is just super there to just support, and they appreciate anyone that wants to come out there and battle, you know? Yeah. They're there for it, so...
Yeah,
nice.
So let's talk a bit about CTC.
Yeah.
Call The Coroner. So when did this idea come to play? Like when did it actually? So it's you only dropped it sort of like
a couple of weeks ago, a month ago maybe, or 3 weeks, a month.
Yeah, it's gonna be coming on a month, surely.
Yeah.
Well, we just started doing tracks together, and then I guess we're just both motivated, super motivated, and he would just be coming up to the studio, and then we just started getting all these tracks together, and we're like, well, you know.
I remember I said, like, I had the idea. I was like, I'm gonna ask Cortex if he wants to. I was like, we should do like a joint EP or something, and we're at your old joint. And I can remember like we're standing there like near the table.
That table.
Near
That
a
old table.
Right?
There's a table there.
Seeing some things at that table.
It was a cold Tuesday afternoon. And yeah, I just said, like, you know, we should do an EP together, like, you know, split it. And he was just like, yeah, straight out.
Yeah.
And I was like, sick, because I wanted to, because I was just like watching him work in the studio. Like, I know how to write raps and stand in front of a mic. I don't know how to record myself, make beats, do videos, nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's sick.
And he's got all that down packed, and just like working in the studio, like, just made me do my best shit, and I just had heaps of fun. You know what I mean? Like, which was obvious because I was like constantly just trekking back and forth from like to north of the river from down south on public transport just to go sit in the studio and make music. And yeah, he was keen, and then we just slowly just started just constantly making tracks and building them up, and then we just slowly got to the point where we were like, shit, we should make a name for the duo. And
no, it's sick because is that those songs from the EP? Was it EP or was that whole album?
No, it's an EP that we
EP,
dropped so far.
Yeah, so those songs were the ones you played at Get Body?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was sick.
Oh,
What did
you
you
were
guys think of that? Yeah, I filmed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I made the video for the night.
Oh, don't.
Yeah.
yeah, actually, I
I
forgot
think you've seen that video.
I forgot to
No,
mention.
it hasn't dropped yet.
Oh, it hasn't
I forgot
dropped.
to mention that to you. Like, he was actually on the
Yeah,
stage.
'cause,
filming.
That's probably where I recognise you from.
Yeah, because when you introduced yourself to me before, I was like, I met you before. I
Oh,
was thinking,
yeah.
that's where we were. But that was like actually a pretty good night for Australian hip hop.
Yeah, it was great. It was on the whole, it was great.
Yeah.
Good turnout. Great response to our set.
Yeah.
That's all I'll speak on.
Yeah. Nice. It was because I did the video for that. It was actually pretty sick. You had that fucking crazy jacket on.
Yeah.
What colour was that? Like gold. It was
Yeah.
fucking shiny as.
Haven't brought that out again since then. I'm just waiting for the right time. Just bring it on them. You know what I mean?
Bro, that's great. Where'd you get that from? It's a NASA champion collab.
Yeah. I can't remember. I found out this spot in Leaderville actually, Atlas Divine, and they had it, but they only had like medium size, and I was just like, oh, I'm getting that. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I'm gonna be an astronaut.
Yeah.
Yep. And now I'm an astronaut. That's all I needed was the jacket. I'm qualified and everything.
So with you saying you do all the videos and stuff, and are you doing it all, the editing and everything?
Yeah.
That's sick. Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good part to have, like, because if you can do the whole package, you don't need to like pay $500, $1,000 for a video each time you want to drop something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I do videos for other people. That's like that's all I do for money now.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's good. If you can help people and help yourself. at the
Straight
same
up.
time.
Well, basically, I guess it's just coming up in a small town where I didn't know anyone that could do anything, so I just had to learn to do everything myself.
Yeah. So you moved here. How old are you when you moved to Perth?
20, I think.
Yeah, nice.
End of 2009.
And you come here solo.
No, I came here with my ex.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's
nice.
kind of like, when you've grew up in a small place like that, you just start to get cabin fever, and you're just like, nah, this is not for me. No.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. Like, I don't know if you've been to Denmark or Albany.
I've been.
Yeah.
I think I might have been to Albany. Yeah, I did been to Albany.
It's a beautiful place, and I definitely think I'll end up back there, but
Yeah.
nothing going on. You know?
Yeah.
It's
Albany's pretty quiet when I went there.
Yeah, super
Like
quiet.
we stood out heaps. We were just like getting her rowdy and shit.
Yeah.
They kicked out of the taxi for just like being just regular cunts, but just obviously they're not dealing with that on like a weeknight usually.
Probably not, no.
No, true. So when you were battling in
Melbourne recently.
yeah, how was that? How was
Fire.
the fucking
Fire.
How was those dudes on the other side? It was so funny, bro. I was
Yeah,
watching
that was
That's pretty
hectic.
staunch. Yeah.
it was just
Yeah, that was
the
the,
see, man, because they were
yeah.
like, oh man.
That was the Trap Runners. They're all like boys with Muzz, which is H Murray, who I battled.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that he would have. I knew that he was gonna have just like
Bunch of
a
cunts.
Some staunch cunts on his corner.
A gang
Yeah.
of goons with him. Like,
Yeah, but it's just so funny, like watching it, because they like played it out too much. It was like they were just reacting to shit that was like nothing said, and it was just like watching it as a viewer, like not knowing who this dude is.
The thing is that it worked fully against him, and
Yeah,
like worked in Az's favour because the whole crowd was just like, "What the fuck?" And then Az just got on, and it was just like, just a funny dude, just clowning him, and just light-hearted. You know what I mean? And they were just like, that worked against them fully. It worked against Mars fully in the battle.
Yeah. I think like just the general public, like, you know, and I got like, Muzz is a mate of mine now. Like, I got nothing but respect for him. Don't really know his boys, you know what I mean? But like, I respect the trap runners, like. But just the general public, I guess, going back to that whole thing of, you know, people you can relate to in that, like.
Yeah.
The general crowd could relate to me a lot more than they could relate to them, you know what I mean? Because they're just, I suppose, like, you know,
Just hectic cunts.
yeah, they're hectic cunts, you know. They've been staunch
Professional.
like that, and it's like the crowd's just like, oh, like. So then you got me like doing my thing. They're all just like, you know, I guess in some sense as well. Like I was meant to be staunched out by them.
Yeah.
So it was like me, not just against Muzz, but me against him and all his boys. So like I was the underdog in the situation.
Yeah, yeah. Whichever.
Even though that, you know, with all respect to Muzz, like, you know, I'm known to most people to be a better rapper than Muzz, and I've done a lot more. And so it was like, really he was the underdog. But just because of the dynamic that was created on stage.
Plus, it was his hometown. He was in his hometown as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the dynamic created ended up making me into the underdog in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
And then obviously my rounds were tight.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just worked in my favour. The crowd.
It was fucking funny, bro. When he was out getting serious, talking about his uncle or something passing away or something.
Yeah.
And then like watching the camera would go like back to the battle, back to those dudes, back to the battle. Yeah. And then it was like back to Mo, and there's no one up there anymore because like they got shitty at someone or
Like, something popped off during the event. Yeah, it's
so like just because you don't see anything besides the stage.
Yeah. But the thing was that
actually
like
a longer pause than they edited the video. So they edited like the pause out of there.
Oh really? Yeah, you didn't.
It was actually because like Muzz didn't see them get off, so they're off in the crowd, and I'm like trying to like give Muzz eye contact and respect his bars, and at the same time I'm like looking over at him like, and then eventually I've like jumped in when he's had a break, and I've just been like, oh, your boys are in the crowd like about to punch on, or don't want to cut you off, but I feel like this is something you'd like to know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's like the thing was that Muzz was actually like full respectful as well. It was just all the other cunts behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they just and a lot of people get like that with battles if they're your mate. You know, like I'll show heaps of people my battles, and they'll just be like, "Fuck this cunt, fuck that." You know, whoever I'm battling. You know, even if I wasn't even like that. You know, we might be mates. We might have become mates. The dude that I battled, but they're just like, "Who's this dude?" You know what I mean? Because it's just creates hostility because that's kind of the environment.
Because that Batuta Advocate, they did a podcast with Cursor, and he says like he had to go to quite a few battles by himself because it get to the point where his mates wanted to like fight with the dudes and all that shit, which I could imagine happening, especially when you're drinking beers and everyone's like getting a bit rowdy and all that. But yeah, it's just that was that was really funny.
Yeah, like
I
knew not to like drop the word dog in there or anything, like not to call him a dog because like I just like knew that. It's just the sort of guys who like they
just
hear
jail
dog.
dudes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just like just they got that like basically like that jail mentality, and they hear the word dog and they just switch. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I made sure I didn't speak or nothing like that. Even though even though he was like, I heard you talk to police, like, you know, and I was like, no, I don't. Like, you're in Melbourne, I'm in Perth, like, where'd you hear that? But you know, it's just that's what you do in battle rap. You make up fake personals, like. Yeah.
It's great. I love fake personals.
That's my favourite part.
Basically, you can make up anything about someone as long as you sell it to the crowd. They'll be like, oh, you what?
Yeah.
You had sex with what?
With what? Not even who. What? What? A desk chair? That's disgusting.
You freak.
No, it is very it needs to be more of it happening, definitely, especially in Perth. Because
the scene was popping off back when PCB was going on.
Yeah.
You know, they got heaps of people to those events. It was like once a month on a Sunday, and they just packed the place out. Like I remember a few of those. It was just like packed. Just that whole room in the Newport was just
When we battled, it was great. One of those days.
Yeah.
It was packed out.
That was like one of the biggest ones. for sure.
Definitely should still be a thing because like then like the younger people like I got to witness it. I never went to any of them, but like watching it all on YouTube. And no one's really like the younger generation aren't really getting to see any of that side of things on YouTube and stuff anymore, except if they watch the old stuff that's happened, you know. Yeah, I reckon it'll be good for like the kids that are looking into rap now. Especially, I feel like Australian rap is like becoming something a bit bigger than what it was in the last, I reckon, year. Like it sort of just like took a big step.
Yeah. You're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's like a movie called, I think it's called Bodied. That's, I'm not sure when it's coming out, but it was kind of like a Hollywood production, fairly decent budget movie. Joseph Kahn directed it, who's like a guy that's done a lot of big budget music videos. Eminem's like one of the executive producers. And that's coming out sometime in the next year. And I reckon it'll be like an 8 Mile sort of thing. It'll kick the kind of subculture back into the forefront. People will be like, oh shit, what's this? So
it's all about battle rap. Is that
it's just a battle rap movie. Yeah.
And it's got heaps of battle rappers from the States and that like in it.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, like acting.
You guys got some dude from the States to the FBO one at Mojo's.
Caustic, that was.
Caustic, that's how I battled. Yeah.
That was pretty good battle.
He was the King of the Dot champ at the time as well. He was funny, man. He was funny to battle. Like he like when I didn't get announced the winner but I got him because it wasn't judged, and like after the battle finished I was just like, 'cause he's known as like just this arrogant guy, like, you know, Mr. Disrespectful or whatever they call him. And yeah, like after the battle's finished and like the camera's turned off and everything, and I've just gone up to him, you know, because I'm like helping run FBL as well, so it's like him coming out like was like a good thing for like what we're doing. Yeah. So I've gone up to him and be like, hey man, I really appreciate you coming out and let me battle you, like big ups. And he's just like literally this is all he says. He's leaned forward and just goes, One day you can tell your grandkids you battled Caustic, and just walked off. literally, and I was just standing.
Like,
I was
fuck
just
up,
standing
cunts.
there,
Like,
just like
even
what
like not even many of the people in this room know you.
Yeah,
like
it was amazing. Like
that is classic.
I couldn't be. I wasn't angry though because like I just got him. You know what I mean? I'd got one up on him. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, this was after it.
This is after the battle, you know. So the crowd's sitting and there's been like, cheers for that battle, blah blah, and then like the camera's turned off and it's all ended, and I've just gone up and been like, hey bro, like, cheers for coming out and shit, man. It's dope, like. Yeah. And yeah, that was literally what he said and just walked off.
Really? It's like dudes like that.
And then he come back to our house and shit, like, and we're just giving each other, like, I was like, we were giving each other shit in the car and like.
Yeah. So it was just sort of like that's him. His attitude, whatever. Just like
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think he was a little bit pissed off at like the fact that like, because I just had the crowd on my side as well. You know, it was like my home crowd. Like most people there knew who I was, but didn't know who he was. Like, you know, and I had my shit just down packed and I just went hard on him. Whereas he was very like relaxed with it all. Like he like freestyled a lot. He didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? He was just coming out to Perth to battle. There's nobody and he didn't care. Whereas like to me, it was like, you know, something that I had to work for. Like so I just went hard on him, and I just think the result of the battle and how it all went down, like, I don't know, he just wasn't happy about it, I guess. Like
dudes like that will like,
right after it.
They would just exist within their own little bubble just to get like pats on the back, and you know what I mean? Like they've got a tiny little, like minuscule amount of fame within their little circle. So that's the circle that they'll just stay within. Yeah, so they like, even though in the scheme of things, no one knows them, but because they just choose to stay within the circle where everyone does know them, they feel like everyone knows them, you know? Yeah. So he comes out to Perth and be like, oh, no one knows me. Well,
you can't really expect it to be known in Perth. Like we're like the most isolated city in the world, and then you're gonna I don't know.
He beats me alive though because his missus was so hot. I had all these bars about.
Yeah, but they're probably not even still together. Like
I had these bars against his missus and like things about her just being like this like rank bitch, you know, like. And she's like standing there next to him, and she's just like a 10 out of 10 bombshell. Like I was like, what? There's no way. How is he with her? Like,
that's fucking. So he tricked her. So he brought her into his bubble.
I was like hanging out with her back at our house. I was like cooking chicken wings with her and shit. Like I was like trying to flirt with her and shit. Like I was just like, he brought it. I'm gonna crack onto his bird.
That'd be the ultimate rap battle.
Yeah, that cost.
That would.
Oh, that's fucking funny as fuck. So, what have you guys got going for the end of 2018? Beginning of 2019, what's the future goals? What's the endeavours?
We got a few things in the works.
Yeah.
We got an album on the way.
Fuck
Pretty much done.
Yeah, nice.
Just kind of rolling out the EP and giving it a bit of time to sit with people.
The album was like the original idea, and then we just had so many tracks.
Well, the album was pretty much came together before the EP. The EP was made up of just songs that didn't really have a place on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's a good way.
We just had so many tracks that it was just like, why don't we just put out a quick EP that we could literally like put out now if we wanted to. So it's like the people have something. It just gives us that little bit of extra time to just sit and then really perfect the album. You know what I mean? So it's not another like 4 or 5 months of nothing. Yeah. So it's like the EP's out there and people can enjoy that. While they're enjoying that, we're just putting the final touches on the album.
Because you have to keep people's attention these days. It's like people who've got such short attention spans that you know a couple of months is enough for people to forget about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to, but
you should.
You should if you want to like keep the ball rolling. Yeah. You have to keep constantly releasing material and videos as well. It's got to be visual. It can't just be music.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be something that's easily digestible by the general public.
Yeah, even like just spitting to the fucking camera on Instagram.
Yeah, well, that too. Look at some of the most viral videos that people are just them rapping in their bedroom and shit. There's no like formula to what's gonna make it viral.
Yeah.
It's just cool, it is what it is.
It's great that everyone has like, if they want to, the tools are there. Like, if you really got it in you, like that's what else like is a thing with like, even with when I do clothing, I might think about it, I'm like the people know that you can just do something, but a lot of people just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to put the extra time in. They're just happy to have their 9 to 5 and then like get blind all weekend, and that's life.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people see different, and that's what's going to separate, like, and hopefully through doing this podcast and stuff, like, and like being able to like give other people to be able to see inside on what you guys are doing and like helping the scene and growing for like yourselves and growing a community of people that can actually enjoy music and be proud of Australian rap or just hip hop in general, you know?
Yep.
That's why I feel like just lucky to have a hobby that I can put all my time into, because I see people that I know and friends and just people that just at this point in their life now, they're getting to their like late 20s, like turning 30, and they're just like, fuck, like outside of what I do 9 to 5, what do I put my time into? And that's when they were like, a lot of them will, you know, or, I mean, I wouldn't say that they'll have kids for that reason. You know, they'll probably just have kids at that time, and then they find that, and they're like, all right, I can put my life into this, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But the other people that don't have kids and they're like single and they're turning 30 and like in their early 30s and they're like get a bit disillusioned. They're like, fuck, what do I have to put effort into outside of just what I do day to day to make money?
So that midlife crisis starts brewing.
And midlife crisis, I swear, are happening earlier and earlier these days because
it spins me out
real quick. You know, like
it spins me out when I look at mates and I'm just like, they're not big into music. They don't paint or they don't have any creative outlet. That's basically what it is. Like people who don't have any sort of creative outlet. Because it can be anything, you know what I mean? Like,
shit, you know, like
it's just like they literally just work and they just hang out with their mates and have beers and they listen to music that they like and that's it. And I'm just like, I feel like everyone needs to have some sort of creative outlet.
Yeah, even if it isn't just music or art, like
just be anything. Yeah, just like
I don't know,
just anything.
It is like it's weird to see people like that, especially when you see it a certain way and then everyone's looking at it different. But that's what is separating everyone, and that's why you're doing your music, and that's why you've been doing it for a long time. Putting a lot of
it's the only thing that keeps me literally the only thing that keeps me going. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't have the music that I do, I would be so lost.
Yeah, bro.
And just have such a lack of like reason that I couldn't even fathom it.
Yeah, because you just be like, well, what the fuck? I'm working towards something that isn't mine. Yeah. At work, and then I come home and you like.
It's just something that you can think that people are going to listen to after you're gone. You know what I mean? It's about leaving a legacy. And there's all different sorts of ways to leave a legacy. I mean, like your kids are your legacy in a big way, and a lot of people kind of put everything into that. And I'm sure we will at one stage in life as well. But it's good to kind of have a little bit of comfort in the fact that maybe people are going to take a little piece of something that you've done once you've moved on. Yeah. And like hold on to that and be like, and just remember who you were. You know?
But you put yourself out there, bro. Like people are just going to. Like, you might not think that, like, it might not be, like, your fucking, you know, biggest, like, it might not be, like, your biggest fan or anything, but people will just be seeing, like, and having this thought of you like in their head in the future. They hear this song, or they see something on the internet, and they're like, oh yeah, remember that, like all that shit. Like especially like if you were into that, for a lot of people that go through hip hop as a young age, and then they get out of it sort of thing, and they just do regular stuff. Even those people will remember all that stuff, you know.
Well, I mean, like even us at our stage, like you know, I've had people that have messaged me and said that your music has helped me through and helped to. Like, I've had one guy that I was talking to at a gig over East that said, like, he said literally that he had a gun to his head and he just had nothing to live for, and that listening to our music was one of the things that kind of like just like helped to sort of coax him out of that and just give him a bit of perspective on the fact that there's other people, you know, going through the same sort of stuff, and that's just at our level, you know. So you can imagine, like people that are on a bigger level are just swamped with that, and like they can't even reply to all those people. But
like complete,
even like complete, who's like, you know, he would get bombarded with that sort of stuff. And the fact is that he physically can't respond to it all. Yeah, you know, but doesn't mean that he's not appreciative of it. Yeah, definitely. And his music would have helped so many young people that are going through,
He's like
the ringer.
Mental health doctor, like.
Yeah.
He's doing more for than our fucking system's doing for people. Yeah. He's giving people that like little like bit of like just courage or whatever, because he's there saying, "Oh, this dude's like, you know, obviously going through it, and he's not going through something that's just like some anxiety shit. He's like dealing with shit."
Yeah.
I would love to get an interview with him one day. Like,
you should hit him up. I'm sure he'll be down to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
He's a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
I'll vouch for you as
like,
well. I'm telling him you should go do it.
Yeah.
Because he's I've been listening for like for ages, but like even stopped listening to him for a while as like I went through like stop being a teenager and all that. Then like going back to him and I'm just like, fuck man, like where he's come from and then where he is now, it's just crazy.
He constantly blows my mind, you know what I mean?
And
like, for a long time it was just someone I didn't know. I just knew him as complete, like, you know, when I was a younger teenager and that, and I was just like, I'd hear him and it was like, you know, I'd almost have this like competitive, because I was just like, you know, I was coming up and trying to, and I'd just hear him and just be like, fuck, who is this dude? You know what I mean? Like, he's so much better than me, you know? And now it's like, now he's a good friend of mine, and Cortex is like, and he's still just like, he'd be like, oh, check this out. What do you reckon of this new track that I've just done? Like, and I'll just be like, I don't even have words for that, bro. Like, he showed me one on Friday night in that hotel room in Hillary's, just on his phone. He got me to listen to it. Like, he just recorded it that day or whatever. And it was just fucking crazy. Like, he's constantly stepping up, and I'm just like, bro.
Yeah, I've been like good friends with Complete and working with him since he was like 17. You know, first we did a track together in 2010. That was the first time we ever worked together. And so I've just kind of like had the privilege to like watch him through all that, and just how he's like grown and developed as an artist and built his following, and like, yeah, it's one of those things that it's good to be able to see from a perspective where you've got a little bit of insight on it. Yeah,
no, it is cool.
And to see him now, I'm like, it's hard to even like comprehend how big a part of some people's lives that he is. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to see it when it's someone that you're just friends with and you know. Yeah. But then there's people that think of him as just like an untouchable person that they couldn't even reach out and have a conversation to if they tried. Yeah. When in reality, like, he still lives in Perth. He's a very like approachable dude, you know. He still talks to all his fans at his gigs and everything. Yeah. Like,
no, he's good. Yeah. He's a very deep artist.
Yeah.
You can tell there's like
as an artist, he is an artist. You know, that's what an artist is. Yeah. There's some people that can rap, but not everyone's an artist. Not everyone knows how to just bleed and put their everything into it, and that's what separates that's what endears people to like people's hearts.
Yeah, because he's really putting himself out there 100%.
You feel like you know him through listening to his music.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, fucking oath. All right, well, I think we've been doing this for like, I think it's been an hour and a bit. So we'll keep it at this level, because I reckon like if we go too much longer, we want to keep the people and the fans.
Yeah, we'll start talking about fucking Freemasons and shit. And just like get real deep with it.
Illuminati shit.
Yeah.
But it's been great having you guys on the show.
Straight up.
It's been sick, man.
Yeah,
good chat.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate
Thanks for having us.
No, all good. This has been The Side Show. It's been the Azmatik and Cortext interview.
And the CTC EP's available now on all platforms: Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music, Tidal, Bandcamp, all that.
Anything.
And we got more on the way.
Get that shit.
Subscribe to this man on YouTube.
Straight out.
Hey,
Don't be
Cheers.
a fool.
Let's get it.
let's get it. Man, fuck yeah.
Good job.
Fucking oath.
Sick.
That was dope. Yeah, man, that was
Been
good.
fighting for dark like the last.